back everyone, Phoenix 3 here, and I am going to be playing me some Destiny, because I haven't really played this game in a while. I actually haven't played any games in a while, aside from Pokemon Showdown, but I just want to run through some stuff, maybe record some content, try to figure out what it is that I want to do with any of this stuff here. But I'm going to pick up my bounties, see what I got going on. Oh, I still got a lot. Alright. Would have been really cool to actually have like space battles in this game, because pretty much the only purpose the spaceships serve are just to be loading screens. And I got some pretty cool looking ships, like this one, for example. I think I like this one better, the Crypt Hammer. But like, wants to load. But like, I got some pretty cool looking ships. And it'd be cool if like, if you could like do some multiplayer, shoot stuff with the ships.
Broken.
This is the best part of Destiny right here. Like the social part, like especially if you get like a bunch of people together and just do stupid stuff and hope somebody else joins in, is actually pretty funny.
Check.
50 fallen, primary precision, heavy kills, and super
Exchange
kills.
complete.
Okay, what's my setup right now? Super kills, I might want Stormcaller. 30 kills without dying, Patrol Mars, Void Weapons. Okay, we're just going to see which one of these we kind of fall into.
Xenobiological
I
materials.
really don't think I have anything here. Like, it'll be nice to have primaries with some type of element on it, but I think they took all of that away. And now I don't have any void. I mean, I got the Telesto. Got a machine gun. There's a shotgun. The next big thing. I got void, I guess. So I'm gonna see what we got here for dailies. Try to knock some of those out. Got the daily story, the weekly heroic strikes, and then the nightfall. Also got a raid. Alright, let's knock this out. 240 light, 15 legendary marks. How many legendary marks do I have right now? I have 165, so we should be good.
Guardian, turns out I gave you some bad intel last time. Those wizards weren't controlling the Blight.
Caller.
Mea culpa,
Unless I need
such
void
like.
ability.
Got a real
kills.
plan this time. There's a taken knight
Looks like
running
void
sorties on the
weapons,
Cosmo
yeah.
down there, and the Tower Scouts have tracked the Blight to the old King's watch bunker. Hit the knight in a counterattack,
Get
and then push on to the
primaries
bunker.
and defeat Fallen.
Welcome back to the Cosmodrome. We have tracking on that knight, critter named Sugoth. T is silent.
So there's
Comes up
definitely
with these
something
names
going
anyway.
on
Okay,
right
get after
there,
him,
but
Guardian.
I want to come over here and get on
Kate,
his
Knight
public
is
event
down.
if I still
I'm
can.
detecting a surge of power in response.
Just what we wanted. And, yep, It's coming from the King's Watch bunker. Our intel was right. That's the source. You know what to do, Guardian.
Nobody was
If
working
you're
on this
game,
guy.
I'm game.
Okay, I don't have to worry about that.
They're getting close.
I'll take that engram though. Like, all the bad that I could say about this game, this game does do a lot of things right. Like I said before, this game is really stable. Like, there aren't ever any times where you'll just be randomly walking and then you'll fall through the floor. Like, most of the problems that I have with the game is the difficulty sometimes. So I need to not be here. I do need to be getting precisions and get a bunch of kills without dying. These guys have so much shields. So I can fusion rifle, take them out. Doing good so far. Didn't die. What are we doing here? Spawns. There's some heavy. So we got to 30 kills without dying. That's good. Not be as good, I guess. Probably gonna get another wave here. See how this works. Like the main bad guy is of this expansion. Yeah, I was gonna go ahead and do it. I don't know. Take this respawn. Like, there's just so many guys here. You just kind of want to deal with all. Okay, of course, it's me. I don't know what exactly triggers or the special use more the meter. But sometimes it just lasts forever, and other times it just lasts like 2 seconds. Fighting towards his shadow. So where did he go? Basically, what I want to do is kill these snipers. They don't miss. It's unfortunate. Like, you really can't do much when you go around like that. You gotta deal with them. He's back now. There he is. So I can only do 25% damage to fight from the place enemy. That seems how this is gonna go. I don't want to pop a 3 points. I don't know how long I'm going to do this. Oh, we got knights.
You know, Zavala's too serious to say it, and Ikora's too distracted, but the Vanguard wouldn't be what it is today without you.
Look at all of these big-ass blights.
Anyway, thank you for the shooting.
And there I go, dead. Lightning dancing. Get anything important? We got nothing. I want to get this this scout rifle I got on right now. I want to get this maxed out so I can switch to something else. I really want to use the Telesto just a little bit more. So we got 240, 260, 280. I actually don't know what this one's going to be though, but we have a chance to get a legendary engram. I don't have any weapon parts on me right now. So all my ghosts are max. Can I do anything here? Well, no, I still need weapon parts. Do I have armor materials? I don't. Well, there's nothing I can really upgrade right now.
Funny story for you. Remember that Centurion Oryx took right after you landed on the Dreadnought? Then the Centurion and the Taken Ogre tried to stop you from killing the king? Didn't work. So the Centurion's Bond brothers are pretty angry they lost their commander. They're leading a team to blow the Dreadnought's core. The core goes, most of the system goes with it. You're gonna make sure that doesn't happen.
I actually wonder how aerodynamic this spaceship is right here. It doesn't seem like it would be very aerodynamic at all. my monitor just turned off. Okay. So, they checkpointed me in, it looks like. So I must have just joined in on a group that already made some progress on this weekly, which is fine, because I really don't want to deal with a lot of this. Alright. Try an auto rifle, but it feels like auto rifles in Destiny just aren't good. Like, this was Call of Duty, assault rifles would be the only thing you want to use, but like in Destiny, they just, like, the stability on them is just extremely bad. The recoil, well, that's what the stability is in this game, is recoil, but the recoil in this game on stuff is like extremely bad, especially on the assault rifles. Or auto rifles as they're called in the game. Pulse rifles have a little bit more stability, but that's because they all the pulse rifles 3-round burst. But it's just when it comes to stability, rate of fire, and other stuff, I'd rather use a scout rifle, which is what I'm using now. Sure, I only get to shoot one bullet at a time versus like a bunch.
Why would you bring a tank?
I get a lot of range. The stability on them is good, so it has predictable recoil. You kind of know where your gun is going to land at. When it comes to auto rifles, you kind of gotta shoot them first, unless you happen to get one with really good stability. But there seems to be a trade-off with the auto rifles, or the heavy machine guns for that matter, is the more ammo that the guns have on the auto rifles, like the oh shit. Basically, like the auto rifles, and the heavies, the more ammo that the gun has, the less stability it has. So there'll be times where I'll get like a machine gun or something that I want, but it'll just have a bunch of ammo in it, and then at that point it's just simply not good because it just has too much ammo. Like, yeah, the ammo is nice to have, but the gun just goes all over the place, so you waste a lot of bullets just missing the target. Whereas if I had a gun with just a couple of recoil, or well, with the least amount of bullets versus actual recoil, then I have really good stability. So I tend to target auto rifles that have like 27 to 31 rounds in it, because those are typically better to use. Also, I can't shoot for shit, so that's also part of the reason why I would rather have those, because it accounts for me being bad at first-person shooters. These guys are just doing way too much for me. I want to kill some of these ads. Are the guys that's doing all the damage. They got so much health. Big ass dude down there. Kill the tank, everything else will despawn, so I guess that'll be the focus. I'll revive this guy. That guy in the back with the damn rockets. Somebody hit me.
tank was a present from the brothers.
guy,
We need to find them. Let's check the bridge.
I heard Ikora say
nothing
once
else,
that
they're
the
not
Cabal are
despawning.
6 words for advance and none for retreat. I'm really not one for fancy speeches, so when you find them, shoot them.
There we go. Network keys. It'd be nice to have a Void rocket launcher, though. Okay, here's where it is. Lights down, he's down. Okay, that was a really good special right there. Really good special. Let's try and make sure I didn't drop anything. But I think I'm going to need solar here. Cause I believe this here is the one where you gotta fight those 2 big dudes. Yeah, the Bond brothers. Yeah.
Taken and Cabal fighting for the bridge. Wherever the brothers are, they aren't here. Let's keep moving.
I don't know if you guys want me to talk about Pokken Tournament. You know, nothing new really came out in the game. Anything else that I could say on it would be speculation. Like, I still haven't had the chance to play the arcade yet, because I just don't think it's in this area. So I'm gonna have to wait till the game actually releases, or wait for Dave & Buster's here to get it. Maybe I could like petition Dave & Buster's here to invest in 2 machines, but we just gotta figure out about it. But there was something interesting that came up, like on GameFAQs. I started a topic about, you know, how they could mess the game up, and it's been getting some responses, and I try to reply to every post I can, because like I said, you know, I look for information. I look for anything about this game. I want to see how the players take to the game and everything else. And the one thing that I do keep saying is that, you know, the final roster in this game is going to decide, you know, how successful this game is, because this isn't like any other fighting game. For example, this is Pokemon, and at the end of the day, people want to play their favorite Pokemon in a game like this, since this is something that we've always been wanting. And a person in the thread says that he's not a fan of Pokemon, that he only plays it or buys it so he can play with his son, and that's not a problem. But one of the things that he said was that to him it doesn't matter how many copies of a character are on the roster as long as they play differently. And that's a dangerous mindset, in my opinion, to have, especially for this game, because we don't know how a Pokemon is popular. Like, there are a lot of Pokemon I would consider to be iconic from every single generation, especially the first gen. I could list like just 15 right off the bat that are the most iconic generation or Pokemon from that generation, and a lot of those Pokemon are Pokemon that people happen to enjoy. We're talking Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu, Pidgeot, the Evolutions, the legendary birds, Mewtwo, Dragonite, Gengar, Alakazam, maybe 1 or 2 fossil Pokemon that didn't take too long, like Pokemon that you collected throughout your normal gameplay. Like, the reason I would say Zapdos would be the most popular legendary bird is because it is the one that takes the least effort to get, and you get it early on in the game. This guy who's in charge of all stuff. But you get them early on in the game, and you just pretty much grab Surf, go back to what is it? Computer City. You just go back there, just search the power plant, you get Zapdos. Whereas Articuno, you have to go out of your way to get, because Articuno is a maze. And Moltres, you get at the Elite Four. Now this is depending on whether or not you play Fire Red, Blue, Green. But I'm talking about regular red, blue, green, and yellow. Basically, Zapdos was the least one that took the least amount of effort to get. Oh crap, I died. Alright, Articuno is a puzzle that you have to spend some time trying to get, and Moltres is at the Elite Four. The reason I say this is because most people plan to grab Zapdos during their playthrough, and a Pokemon like Jolteon, for example, might not be used as an evolution because most people plan to go grab Zapdos. So most teams complete with Zapdos on it. Most teams complete probably with Pidgeot on it. Most teams complete with the legendary birds, or not the legendary birds, just starter. But like, there's a group of like Pokemon that you would expect to see on an Elite Four team, and the most common ones would be your starter, Pidgeot, probably Zapdos or Articuno, and that's it. The reason Moltres kind of draws a short end of the straw here is simply because when you're at the Victory Road where Moltres is, you already have a team full of 6, and the other Pokemon are usually the ones that you already have been using, so you use those more. And these are Pokemon I would consider iconic part of the first generation. So I would expect to see some of these in the game. You know, if we're not going to get all the legendary birds in the game, then I expect Zapdos or Articuno to be playable. It'll probably be Articuno because Articuno is the most visually impressive Pokemon in the game. Or in terms of aesthetics, you know, we already got 2 lightning types, and you don't want to have too much color on it. Like, there's only really one blue Pokemon in the game, and that's Suicune. I'm not going to really count Lucario in this. And per the most iconic Pokemon, I didn't count Mew because, for the most part, Mew was a mystery to everybody. We all knew it existed, but it was always unobtainable. So I really don't want to count Mew towards it. And basically going back to what he said, God, I was kind of rambling on too long about that. And that basically was the guy who wasn't a fan of Pokemon. He didn't really care what was in the final roster, so long as the gameplay was good and the characters played differently, which is a dangerous thing because we already don't know how Nintendo's picking Pokemon. So if Nintendo were to have a survey out that said, you know, which one of these Pokemon would you want to see in a game, or which one of these Pokemon is iconic, which one of these Pokemon speak to you, or something like that. And I'll just have these Pokemon here as an example. It'll be like Pikachu, or Pidgeot, Vaporeon, like some other Pokemon. I'll use Charizard as an example, I guess. Most people who don't know anything about Pokemon will automatically pick Pikachu because they know what it looks like. They don't know anything about the Pokemon. They just know what it looks like. And on that fact alone, they can skew results because basically the only thing you have to say is, from Nintendo, is like, well, all of these people prefer Pikachu to be in the game. But when in reality, most of these people don't know the first thing about Pikachu. And I asked them, I was like, you know, do you know anything about Pikachu? You know, other than the way he looks, other than the way that he, or just basically on what you think you know about Pikachu. Like, what do you know about him? Do you know his height? Do you know how much he weighs? Do you know his age groups? I mean, what exactly do you know about this Pokemon? Other than how he looks and that his name is Pikachu, what exactly about this Pokemon. And it didn't really give me an answer, but that was basically one of the things I was trying to draw at. Because he said, they want to get new people to play this game, and I had told him, it's like, they are making this game for the older generation, the people who grew up with Pokemon, the people who aren't playing Pokemon anymore, trying to get those people back. And I was making sure to tell him that. He's like, because he was being very sure about saying, from a marketing standpoint, you don't want to have Pokemon that aren't popular or whatever. So I had said in the thread that the legendary birds are more popular than a lot of the other Pokemon on the roster, and a lot of people took that as me saying that the legendary birds are more popular than like Pikachu or something, which isn't what I said. I said, next to everything else that wasn't like Pikachu or I'll just only say Pikachu. I feel Charizard and Lucario are overrated, but other than those Pokemon there, I would say that Articuno is, or not Articuno, but the legendary birds in general are a whole lot more popular than a lot of the other Pokemon that get screen time and attention, simply because they're legendary. That's a big factor in Pokemon is the Pokemon legendary, and a lot of kids only care about that. It's easy to make something like a Ninja Frog popular because of Naruto. It's easy to make something like a dragon popular because people just like dragons. But if you look at the popularity of other Pokemon that are popular, it's like, well, what exactly makes this character popular amongst the people? Because Pikachu is everywhere. Everybody sees Pikachu. It's almost a false statement to say Pikachu is the most popular Pokemon. It's like, I see popularity completely different versus everything else. It's like when we have Pokemon that are popular that aren't in the forefront of every decision, like Gardevoir, for example. Pokemon Company doesn't show off Gardevoir all the time, but it's popular. It has a fan base, and the same thing is said true about a lot of other Pokemon. Is that the Pokemon has a fan base, and that's kind of what it is that they look for. Ooh, we got some nice stuff.
The Brotherhood is
Got our
broken.
legendary. Hopefully it's a legendary engram. Okay.
I hear that the Cabal are big on honor.
So we got
Look at their actions,
some
not
nice
their
pickups
words.
there.
You've put
I didn't even know the other guy died.
Butchers. And
So I was waiting to
you've
see
shown
if
the
an
Empire
exotic
what the
engram
Vanguard's
popped up,
all
but it
about.
looks like it didn't.
Nice work.
Lightning dance. But basically, a lot of Pokemon are popular, and I was trying to tell him that, like, he was basically saying, like, it doesn't matter to me if, there are multiple Pikachus on the roster so long they play differently. And the problem that I had with that, of course, was, well, what's going to stop them from putting more Pokemon or more Pikachus on a roster? Because if the majority of people who are buying this game are parents who don't know the first thing about Pokemon, and the Pokemon Company has this false image that everybody likes Pikachu, then what instance do they have to not put multiple Pikachus on the roster? Because it'd be bad from a financial standpoint to include multiple Pokemon like that on a roster, considering there are others that could possibly be in the game. And that's not something that a lot of these people really understand, and I don't understand that. But maybe it just might be me, like, maybe my standards are too high for this game, but I kind of feel that they have to be at this point, because I simply want this game to be good. And a large part of that would be the roster, in my opinion. Like, I would hope that I'm one of those people that won't say, okay, this game sucks because my favorite Pokemon aren't in it. But at the same time, I want my favorite Pokemon to be in the game like everybody else does. And if that simply isn't the case, then a lot of people are definitely going to voice that that concern. It's like, well, my favorite Pokemon isn't in this game, so why do I want to buy it? And then you automatically doom the game from a conception because you wanted, 2 or 3 Pikachus in the game when another character would have been more appropriate for that slot. And in this case, another character was appropriate for that slot. But, here we are, and we got 2 Pikachu. I mean, where exactly does this end? Like, they're going to put the regular Mewtwo in the game. I don't want that to happen, but that's going to happen because Mewtwo is an iconic character, and Mewtwo being an iconic character has to be in the game. Like, if they were to reveal tomorrow that Shadow Pidgeot was going to be a thing for this game, right? I would expect the normal version to be in the game because the normal version is the way people remember the character. And if you're trying to target those people to come back to the game, they don't want to see this version of that character. They want to see the character that they grew up with so they could probably try to play the game. So that's why it'd be a good idea to have those characters. But maybe, my hopes are just extremely high for this game. Because, at the end of the day, it is being made by Bandai Namco, and you already know the way their fighting games turn out. Like, a lot of the characters in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, for example, are clone characters. And it just seems like with Japanese games, you're going to have a lot of characters with the exact same movesets. Like, I really don't see this as a problem in American fighting games. Like, even though Mortal Kombat X has like almost 30 characters in it, none of the characters play identically, like, at all. And if this was like look at Pokken Tournament, we were only at the time 9 characters into the roster, and then we already got a second Pikachu. Like, already
You ever think about
a second
that moment?
Pikachu.
When humanity first saw the Traveler? Must have been.
And that's
quite a
just
sight.
kind of the thing. It's like, it's like, yeah, they say, oh, the game's going to have 30 plus characters in it. It was like, well, if you take away the 10 possible characters that are going to be Pikachu, Lucario, Charizard, and Mewtwo, then that only leaves 20 characters. And that's only 20 characters from a potential, like, 30 that can possibly make it into the game. Now, when they're looking at these additional possibly 20 characters, then who are they going to put in? Is it going to be more of the same? Are we going to have more kicking Pokemon? Are we going to have more punching Pokemon? Like seriously, what's going to be the limit here? Because I know who I want to see in this game. Everybody else already know who they want to see in this game. I want to see some birds in this game. My friend, he wants to see some dragons in this game. Some other people want to see some snakes in this game. Some people want to see Milotic and Serperior. But if we leave the game the way it is now, I mean, are we really going to see that? Is it just going to be full of human-shaped fighters and Suicune? Because that's the way it seems. That's the way it seems to me right now. Because they're not showing us anything else. At least with Mortal Kombat X, we knew the entire roster of the game before it released, and that's the way it should be here. Like, these Japanese games want to keep everything under wraps, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you're looking at games now, like modern games, people want to know the final roster of the game. They want to know what it is they're buying before they buy it, and that's the way I am. I want to find out, before I invest my $60 into this game, who exactly am I like getting in this game? Is it just going to be, human-shaped Pokemon fighting like humans? If that's the case, then, I'll pass on that. It's like, yeah, I like Pokemon, but I like Pokemon for my reasons, I want to play my favorite Pokemon, and if I can't do that in a game, then I'm not going to get it. Like this new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game that just came out, I want to play it, but, if none of my favorite Pokemon are in the game, I'm not going to buy the game. I don't care how good the game is. I don't even care how bad the game is. I mean, if my favorite Pokemon were in a game that was complete shit, I would still buy it just so I could play as my favorite Pokemon. Like, that's my relationship with this game. Like, I don't play every new Mortal Kombat game that comes out. I don't play every new Call of Duty game that comes out. I don't do all of that stuff because these aren't games that I feel like, are a part of me. If I buy it at some point and play it, then, good. And that's kind of the way I feel about that. But in most cases, I don't really care if I play, every single one of those games. But when it comes to Pokemon, I want to invest myself with the game. I want to feel like I'm a part of it. And whenever I'm playing that game or just these Pokemon games, then I feel like I am, simply because of the fact that these are my Pokemon, and this is my story, and that's the key part of the game that I like. Like, if I'm playing like a Sonic game, and I probably already said this before, but I'll say it again. But like, if I'm playing a Sonic game, there isn't going to be like my own personal Sonic or anything like that, unless we're getting some creepy like fan fictions or whatever. But for the most part, Sonic isn't going to have a personality simply just so, oh, there's a dead ghost over here. Okay. There you go, buddy. But for the most part, like, Sonic isn't going to have a personality I want him to have. He's Sonic. He already has a personality. There's only one Sonic. So I don't feel emotionally invested in the character. It's like, yeah, we could be friends, and that's probably about as far as that's going to like ever go. But when we're talking about other characters from a series like Pokemon, for example, my Pikachu is going to have a completely different adventure, a completely different story than somebody else's Pikachu. And that's the thing, because that Pikachu is mine. And that's what I want to see in these Pokemon games. That's how I feel. That's why I play Pokemon games, so I can have an adventure with my favorite Pokemon. Maybe some other people don't care about that. They just play every Pokemon game just because. But I just go from there. Like, I really don't like the main series Pokemon games. Like, I think it's shit. But the only reason I even play it is because I can play my favorite Pokemon. And the games that I enjoy the most from Pokemon are the spin-off games. Like, I like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, but if my favorite Pokemon aren't in it, then I'm just not going to play it. I don't care how good the story is. I don't even care how bad it is. I just simply want to have that chance to play a Pokemon game with my favorite Pokemon. And that's the way I feel with Pokken Tournament as well. It's like, I want to play my favorite Pokemon in this game because this is something that I've always wanted. And because I don't have the means to create such a game myself, I have to rely on another company to do it. And the problem with relying on another company is that they might do it wrong. Like, the gameplay looks fine. I'm familiar with Circle Fighters. My brother plays the Naruto Storm series, so this is stuff that I know about. This isn't a new concept to me. So this here can work, and I want it to work. But at the end of the day, if my favorite Pokemon aren't in the game, then what purpose do I have to not buy it? Because a lot of Pokemon, or a lot of people are in the same boat as me. They want to play their favorite Pokemon in this game. And if you don't give them that option to, because you want to appeal to the person that says, I don't care how many Pikachu are in the game as long as they play differently, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. And that's just the truth of that. It's not just a matter of saying, well, you should just want to have all the popular Pokemon in the game. It's like, well, there's a bunch of popular Pokemon, so what's the point here? And I already named 15 of the most iconic ones from the first generation. Even from the second generation, you have Pokemon that are iconic from that. You know, Pokemon like Tyranitar, Lugia. I wouldn't even say Ho-Oh as much. People prefer Lugia a whole lot more. Like almost like every 4 and 5 people prefer Lugia to Ho-Oh. You've of course got the starters. You've got, um, I mean, there's a lot of iconic Pokemon from each of these series, and we only see the same ones over and over again. You know, it's not a bad thing, but wouldn't you want to see some other stuff? Wouldn't you want to see some other Pokemon? I would like to see some other ones because you know my whole existence isn't about Charizard and like those aren't Pokemon that got me into the series. There are other Pokemon that got me into the series, and these are the ones that I want to see represented in the actual in the spin-off games. Like I expect Pikachu to be in the spin-off games. You know, that's just part of the contract. But there are other things out there, and I want to see, you know, them treating the fans of the game seriously, because I don't want that guy that doesn't know anything about Pokemon deciding the roster of the game, for example. Because like I said, you know, these people don't know what a Pikachu is. They don't know the first thing about it. They just know how it looks, and that's pretty much it. They just know how it looks because it's the only Pokemon that the Pokemon Company advertises. And it's like what I said in my other video about mascots is that, you know, sure, every game has a mascot. You know, that's just the identity of the series. But they don't advertise, you know, the character like that. Like I said with Scorpion. Scorpion is the mascot of NetherRealm Studios. Like he's in the logo for NetherRealm Studios. But every time they come out with something new, you don't ever see them like, oh well, we got a Scorpion plushie, and we got a Scorpion plushie wearing Sonya's outfit. We got a Scorpion, like there isn't any of that. Like they don't over advertise Scorpion at all. So when Pokemon is doing it, they're only advertising Pokemon. You know, if they are losing track of all the characters, because I mean they clearly are, then perhaps they need to, I don't know, stop making as many, take the Digimon approach, make just a couple, and then go from there. I mean, that seems like it'd be a more effective use of their character licensing, right? I mean, like, if I could, I would love to own or have the rights to use Vaporeon, Pidgeot, maybe some of the other legendary birds. I would love to have a license that said I could use these characters in any way that I see fit, as long as it's not, that's what I'm looking for. Well, as long as it's not ruining the image of the character, I would love to have a license like that. Because if they're not going to use the Pokemon, then at least us as fans, we can use them as favorites. We have the license to use them. So of course, when I make my games would focus around Vaporeon and Pidgeot. My media would focus around the Pokemon that I like because I have a license to use them. So at least that way, the Pokemon are still in the forefront. They're still being shown, but there are other methods of them being shown in the public eye, which is what I think needs to happen. Like Pokemon Company needs some help when it comes to advertising their characters, because they just released a new set of Pikachu plushes where Pikachu is wearing the outfits of a bunch of other Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. So you got like the Mega Sableye, or you got the Pikachu wearing a Mega Sableye costume. And you know, my response to that was, well, why can't I just have the option to buy a Mega Sableye plushie? You know, I like Mega Sableye. I would love to have the option to buy that as a plushie, but they don't give me that as an option. The only option I have is to buy a Pikachu that's wearing it, and that's not what I want. I want to make a Sableye plush, just like I want to make a Pidgeot plush. I'm not going to buy a Pikachu that's wearing a Mega Pidgeot plush. Why would I do that? I'm not going to give you my money for that. I would just much rather you give me the Mega Pidgeot plush because that's what I really want. And the fact that if I do want to get something like that, I have to pay another artist who makes plushes to make it for me, which means that's money the Pokemon Company isn't getting. And because that's not money the Pokemon Company is getting, and I'm giving it to somebody else, that's going to create an issue because the Pokemon Company was to straight up sue the person that made it for me. And their excuse is, well, you know, this is a product that we make. You know, no the fuck it isn't. You don't make Mega Pidgeot plushes. The reason I asked this artist to make the Mega Pidgeot plush for me was because you didn't make one. You just make a bunch of Pikachu plushes, and then you make it play dress up. And that's not simply what I feel should happen. And this is just part of the reason why I think Nintendo, or not even Nintendo, the Pokemon Company has this disconnect with fans, is because of something like that. Because, you know, we all want different things from the series. We all get different things out of the series. But we simply just aren't getting it. Like another person said, you know, the Pokemon series isn't for him anymore. And one of my friends who really enjoys Pokemon feels the exact same way. He just says Pokemon's not for him anymore. And I get him. You know, nobody wants to play as a 10-year-old boy in the Pokemon games. So why not give us the option to be that? You know, on the survey that I took, you know, a large amount of people who play Pokemon, or these based on my survey, it was only like 390 responses or something. But over half of them are adults. So when you have a large amount of your income coming from adults, then, you know, why not give them something that they can relate to?
Finally, the abomination has
Hey,
been
this is
destroyed.
exotic. Awesome.
The Vanguard will be grateful.
Yeah,
A
that's a helmet. I was
creature
really hoping
of
it was
the
a
dark
weapon.
has been
Oh well.
slain.
But
and our world spared another
but you know, why
atrocity.
not give them something
But how
that they
many more
could
hive
relate to?
abominations are still out there,
Like, you don't need to
roaming among
age
the
up
darkness?
Pokemon in the same
I
way
fear
where you
we
gotta
may
put
find
guns
out all
and
too
all that.
soon.
So you don't need to do any of that. But, you know, show us that, you know, you do care. You know, I appreciate as a fan of Pokemon that they are giving all the throwbacks to Red and Blue. I fucking love that. I really wanted to play Blue again because my copy doesn't save. As a matter of fact, the only game that I have where the battery hasn't completely died yet is Pokemon Crystal. That's actually pretty funny because that game still saves. I still have my Game Boy, and you know, I could play that actually. Yeah, I could do that. 'Cause I think I've only played through that game once because I had Silver and I completed the Pokédex in that game, but I never really played um through Crystal. Like my brother played through Crystal. So basically, I am just well, right now for Destiny, I'm just trying to complete these bounties. So we got Hive, and I know where I'm gonna do this one at. The Dark Beyond. But I'm glad that they're giving us that back. So, you know, they're looking at the older fans and be like, you know, we want to re-release the game that you grew up with. And this is also going to do another thing. This is going to give the new generation of Pokemon
We
fans
gave up the moon to keep
the
the
same
hive
things
away
that we
from
had
Earth.
when we grew up.
We
So this
hoped
is
that
going to
would be enough for
increase
them.
their knowledge of Pokemon games. Like in Pokemon X and Y, the first encounter you are forced into is a Pidgecounter. You are forced into that encounter. So for people to sit here and say Pidgeot is not a popular Pokemon is simply not the case. Simply because Pidgeot has made an appearance in every movie. I mean, if people want to admit that, you know, it has made an appearance in every single movie that's came out. It has, well, it's one of Ash's Pokemon, and I mean that the whole Ash thing is another thing that I kind of want to talk about, and I'll probably talk about that in another video. But Ash had one. A lot of like Pidgeot is an important Pokemon to the
Up
series,
ahead,
and
Guardian
people are
down.
going to realize, you know, that's going to be their first Pokemon in Red, Blue, and Yellow too when they buy it from the Virtual Console. You know, they're probably going to pick Charizard. They're going to catch a Pidgeot, or they're gonna catch a Pidgey. It's gonna become a Pidgeot. It's going to be on their team forever. A lot of them are not gonna know about the cryptic stuff like how to get Zapdos early or the correct pattern to get Articuno, but a lot of them players are going to finish their team with Zapdos. A lot of those players are going to finish their team with probably a tradable Pokemon like Alakazam or Gengar.
We've woken the hive.
And they're going to see the same Pokemon that we grew up with, which is the reason why I can say the top 150 in the 150 Pokédex, you know, that those Pokemon that I listed earlier in this video are the most iconic, and that's simply because, you know, they are. You know, we had the anime to help out, just like we have the anime to help out now. We also have the anime to I'm gonna grab this from the ground, I'm gonna die. But we had the anime to help out with the Pokemon that we enjoyed as well, and that's simply like the best part of like the first generation is, you know, seeing these Pokemon. Like there really weren't many anything in the game. As a matter of fact, the only reason Charizard wasn't a dragon in the game was for a balance issue. I don't think it would have caused a balance issue or anything, but you know, people liked it because it was a dragon. You know, it doesn't have to be a dragon type. I mean, a lot of dragons in mythology are just serpents. They're just called dragons because they're big. But you know, Charizard definitely had that, you know, oh my god, it's a dragon type thing. Because like dragons used to be a big thing. You know, kind of how like zombies and vampires like suddenly blew up. Like dragons were big. Like there was always movies about dragons. We had Dragonheart, we had Reign of Fire, we had a lot of movies actually. Even you had the really bad ones. I mean, the Discovery Channel did like documentaries about them. Like dragons was a big thing back then. So Charizard being, you know, or looking like a dragon was kind of a big deal. So I mean, that was just going to be popular because kids like dragons. I mean, what kid doesn't like a dragon? So, hell, I like dragons, but I like big ass birds too. So, but that's just because I like reptiles. Birds were kind of on that. So I'm trying to get some heavy ammo right now. I don't want to use a heavy ammo synthesis. Heavy right here. See the heavy. But you know, I kind of forgot where I was going with that whole thing. But basically, you know, I was just saying that to say I don't want people to decide the final roster of Pokemon who don't know anything about Pokemon. And you know, the fact that some people don't see a problem with there being 2 Pikachus on the roster need to, like, you know, kind of wake up and be like, hey, you know, this is an issue. We should probably look into some other, you know, I have. I need it needs to be the heavy. The sniper's not gonna do it. Just trying to complete these bounties here. No heavy. But you know, as I say, you know, as a fan of Pokemon, you know, I really want to see Poké Tournament do well, and because I know the habits of Bandai Namco when it comes to characters, especially clones, you know, that's really a concerning issue for me, because it doesn't matter if, you know, the game is going to release with 30 characters, you know, if half the roster is clones, then, you know, what exactly is the point? I don't know what was taking that so long to drop. night, because if I do, I'll lose my checkpoint. So I want to be careful. That tells me I didn't be here anymore. Taken Major and Fallen, so I know where I can go to get Fallen. But as you guys can tell, you know, I am still very passionate about Pokken Tournament. I am losing my hype from it because, you know, they're not revealing any new information, and I want to see some new information come out from this game, you know, sometime soon, because I really want to I just want to keep my hype levels, and they're going down quite fast. Because I mean, there's nothing new, and if they release a new character, you know, I want it to be something that's really new. I don't want it to be something that's like introducing a new character, Greninja. It's like, oh my god. You know, I don't want to have one of those feelings. I want them to be like releasing a new character and to be something like Metagross or something. You know, something you don't expect. And that's kind of what I want to see. I want to see Pokemon that I don't expect from this game. Like,
I'm sorry, little
like
Files.
Pokemon can
We'll come
sell
get you
on the
someday.
name Pokemon alone. It doesn't need all of these helper Pokemon to be in it. It's like, yeah, Pikachu has to be in it. But if you knew Blaziken was going to be in a game, then there's really no need to have Charizard in the game this early, you know? If you know you're going to put all of these other Pokemon in, he's like, you know, get some other Pokemon who are popular a chance at the spotlight. Let other fans realize, like, hey, this is a Pokemon, I didn't know that, and then let it become popular. Like, people didn't know shit about Fire Emblem until they, like, put Ike and Roy in the game, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're getting all of these Fire Emblem games and people know the characters now. It's like, you know, if the only Pokemon you're going to show are the absolute top Pokemon that you think are favorites, and they're only favorites because you keep showing them off, then you're not going to introduce a new generation to all your other Pokemon. Like with the fourth Pidgey encounter, that essentially put Pidgeot on the map. You know, it got a Mega. It's been in every movie. You know, kids know this Pokemon, but you don't ever see it in any of the games. And Pokken Tournament would be a really good opportunity for them to put it in the game, considering everybody wants Ash's Pidgeot to come back. So why not put a Pidgeot in Pokken Tournament? It's like, you know, we recognize that you want this Pokemon to come back in the series. We don't plan on putting it back in the series anytime soon because, you know, Ash got Talonflame right now. Hell, I say put Pidgeot back in the series so Talonflame could get jealous. Like, that'd be funny. But they put it in the games, like, you know, we recognize you want this Pokemon back. We're not going to do anything with it in the anime right now, but we hear your cry, so we're putting it into the game. And then that sets up a new thing that people could do for other fighting games, because then we could see possibly other bird characters in fighting games. Like, like this is something that I'm really passionate about, because, you know, we have a chance for this Pokemon game to be completely different than every other fighting game out there, and we're not getting that right now, which is very disheartening to me, because, you know, I want to see this game do extremely well. But if it's just going to be a rehash of what exists in other fighting games, then I really don't want to be a part of it, because I'm willing to play a bad fighter if there's something I like about the game. But if there's nothing I like about the game and you're essentially saying, hey, you know, play our game because it's Pokemon, well, if you don't have the Pokemon that I like in the game, then why should I give you my money? Why should I reward a concept that I don't like, one that I can't personally belong to? And that's the thing, you know, I'm not I'm not going to do that. It might seem like a petty thing, but you know, that's just my relationship with Pokemon. It's not like every other fighter out there. You know, this is Pokemon. It's something that I really care about. I like the series because it did something new. It showed creatures or animals that I really enjoy in real life, and that was a big deal in me deciding, you know, hey, do I want to continue doing anything with this game? There was nothing over here. Could have been a chest or something. Oh well. Let me go kill these 50 fallen, and then I gotta find a major. I know I can go for that though. I'll get at least one. And I don't have to wait for it. But this is basically what I mean by popular Pokemon. Like, people think, you know, when you say popular Pokemon, that there's only one or two extremely popular Pokemon, and those Pokemon have to be Pikachu and Charizard and Mewtwo and stuff like that. It's like Pikachu's not popular. Pikachu's iconic. Charizard is popular. Mewtwo is iconic. Lucario is popular, but you know, Pikachu really doesn't have that popular status to me. Pikachu's just one of those Pokemon that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company continues to shove down your throat and be like, hey, look, this Pokemon's popular, like it. You know, the Pikachu doesn't really do anything that no other small, cute Pokemon in the game does. Like, Eevee is both iconic and popular. But when we say Eevee, we always say Eeveelution simply because nobody has an Eevee. Everybody evolves it into their favorite Eeveelution. Which is why I can group all Eevee and the Eeveelutions together as one thing, because that's simply the case. You know, a Pidgey is going to become a Pidgeot. I mean, no matter what you do with it. You know, every Pidgey's dream is to become a Pidgeot if it doesn't get eaten by something already. But you know, when it comes to Eevee, Eevee can be like one of 9 things, or I think it's one of 8 things. But Eevee can be whatever it wants. So it's easy to say Eeveelution versus anything else. I mean, because there aren't a lot of Pokemon that have different split paths of evolution. I think the only other ones are Glalie, Frostlass, Gardevoir, Gallade. There aren't too many Pokemon with different branching paths of evolution. You got some Pokemon that have some gender differences, but you know, that's just really the crux of that. Just gender differences. But you know, these are all Pokemon that I think are iconic. Like, I would think Gardevoir and Gallade are both popular Pokemon of the 3rd generation, simply just from an aesthetic sense. I think Zangoose and Serperior or Zangoose and Seviper are popular simply because of their rivalry that they have in the game. It's completely fabricated, but it's there. It's something to like about those Pokemon. You know, when you look at Pikachu, you know, there's nothing to like about it. When you look at a Pokemon like Charizard, you know, the only thing Charizard has going for it is the fact that it's a dragon. Like, I personally like Charmander more. A couple of people that I know personally like Charmeleon more. And when asked, they all say that they prefer the lower level forms compared to Charizard. But when you hear something about Blastoise and Venusaur, almost unanimously they prefer Blastoise and Venusaur as opposed to the lower evolution levels. And a lot of people will tell you, especially in my age group, they'll say, well, Charizard is overhyped. And he is. Like, when people found out that Charizard was going to be in the game, they was like, oh my god, man, why? Everybody is saying the same thing right now, is that, you know, out of all the Pokemon that exist on the roster, 10 Pokemon exist in the roster right now. Well, it's 11 with Shadow Mewtwo. But the thing is, 5 of these Pokemon are already in Super Smash Brothers as of now. In Super Smash Brothers 4, 5 of those Pokemon are in this game. It might be 4 actually. Yeah, because Jigglypuff's not in this game, and neither is Greninja. But we all know Greninja's going to be in the game, so you just might as well go ahead and say, well, 5 of these Pokemon are going to be in the game, and that's simply just not a fair assumption, really, because we all want to play our favorites, but they're all being cock-blocked by all of these other Pokemon. Like, I don't like Greninja. It's like, yeah, you know, Ninja Frogs are cool, and Naruto made them cool, but that's it, you know. Naruto is what made them cool. You know, we don't have to have a Ninja Frog Pokemon. It's like, you know, even if it were to be a thing, then why do you have to put it in the game right now? Why can't Greninja just be a DLC option? Why couldn't Charizard be DLC? Why couldn't Lucario be DLC? You know, this is the chance for other Pokemon to shine in the spotlight. Like, I'm really glad that
this is Commander Zavala.
Weavile was in the game.
Cabal
Like,
base
that's
on Phobos is
something
blasting a
that
signal
I
across all
expected,
channels.
but
They're willing to break
that wasn't
transmission
something
systems.
that I
This
thought
could
was
be
really going to
equivalent
happen.
to a full-scale
You know, it's
assault.
like, why exactly do we need to put
We're
all
setting
of these
down
other
on Phobos now.
Pokemon in the game when we can just have stuff like
I'll be
Weavile? Like,
monitoring your
show
feet,
the new
Ghost.
generation
Good
that,
luck to you
you know,
both.
we care. You know, we already know about Charizard. We already know about all these other Pokemon, so you don't have to show them to us again. You know, the only people you're going to be showing them to at this point are, I mean, I don't know who Pikachu is appealing to right now, considering Pokken Tournament is supposed to be in a game for the older generation. You know, I don't know who Pikachu is appealing to. Pikachu is Harada's favorite Pokemon, so of course they're going to have it in the game, and you know that's fine. But why do we need Mass Pikachu when Palucha was an obvious choice in that regard in
Zavala,
terms
the
of
Cabal are
having
evacuating with
a
extreme prejudice.
I mean, a
We're getting
wrestling
torn up down
Pokemon.
here.
You know, you already have one that was created exactly for that purpose, and we get a second Pikachu because what South Korea wanted it. It's like, no, I don't care what South Korea wanted. I really
Something has
don't.
drawn us here.
You know, I want to see some chances for innovation in this game.
Guardian,
That's what I want
I've
to see.
asked Eris Morn to monitor
But they're
the
not
channel.
giving that to us.
I hear whispers
And
in
when
the
we
dark.
find out that, you know, every Pokemon that's been voted in for has been voted in by the Japanese, it's like, you know, that doesn't really build my hype levels for the game, because I'm essentially playing a game that was only released for them, and there's nothing in this game that I can relate to. There's nothing in this game for me, and I
What the
want something
hell
in
was
this game
that?
for me, because, you know, we all play Pokemon.
Fingertips on the surface of
Even
my
if
mind.
they don't pick popular picks,
Yes.
they should pick less
Thank you for your
popular
input,
Pokemon
Eris.
for the hopes of getting this Pokemon known a little. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You know, we don't have to always have the
Whispers
most
are
popular
louder.
Pokemon. It's like, yeah, I mean, they're
I
always a good
will
choice because people are
endure.
going to want them in the game. But there are a lot of people that want certain Pokemon to be in this game. They know they're not going to be in the game.
They speak
Why
a
don't we
word,
have any snake Pokemon in the
a
game
name.
yet? I thought Superior would have been in the game already. Is it too hard for the developers to work with? I mean, they've got a lot of creative people that work for them. If something is too hard for them to work with, they could also you know, look to the fans, figure out what it is the fans want, and then go from there. I mean, did they have options? Like Flygon only didn't get a Mega because of artist block, but it's not like people aren't designing, you know, custom Megas for Pokemon. You know, there's concept art on the internet, you know, swallow your pride, look at it. I'm gonna kill these guys before they just continue to split up. That should be it. Nope, I was wrong. I think Poker Tournament does have the potential to be the tool that the Pokemon Company needed. Because this game has literally like hundreds of DLC options. And I can tell just from looking at the development of this game that the Pokemon are going to be effortless to create. You know, they're not having to create characters with 100 plus moves, all with different tech options, stuff like that.
You have seen his face.
You know, all of these Pokemon
It
are
was
being
his
created
hand
with
that transformed the Cabal.
This mission is scrubbed. Guardian,
ease,
get to
in
your
my
ship
opinion.
and get out of there.
So we can possibly see new Pokemon just being catered to and stuff like that. Maybe we get an option where we can choose how we want to run our specials, so that way if Machamp does get a Mega, his burst would change accordingly and stuff like that. But even if it doesn't, it's still pretty cool. Kill everything.
The bases are lost.
But like,
We have
this game
reports of
really
these
has
taken
the
across
chance
the
to be the
system.
tool that the
Go,
Pokemon
get
Company
out.
really needs. And that's simply just because, you know, there are a lot of Pokemon that do need love, that aren't getting love, that do need it. Where's my spaceship at? There it is.
Our ship's landing across the airfield. Hurry!
We gotta get to our ship now. These guys will pull me back.
We're almost there.
My spaceship should be over here somewhere. Where is it? Did it come in yet? There it is. Dang, blended in pretty good. Dang. Alright, let's just go. They are tearing my ass up. So it would actually be nice to see a bunch of Pokemon getting the attention that they deserve. Because they do need it. It'd be nice if we could get some other Pokemon who aren't as popular into the game as well, so they can try to build up a fan base as well.
Zavala.
Maybe it'll
we made it to
happen,
our ship.
but
We're heading home.
my hype isn't as high for them or anything like that. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end this playthrough. I think I'm just rambling on at this point. I really don't know what else that I do want to do here. Maybe we'll go cash in the engrams, see if we get anything worth keeping. I am going to put the exotic engram in storage. Actually, I could just go ahead and open that one up. It doesn't matter. If I get something for somebody else, it'll be at 310 as well. So I think we might go ahead and open that one up. But we're going to save the legendary engram, because there's always a chance that an artifact drops out of it for another character that I'm working on, and that'll help getting their light level up. But as for other Pokemon I would like to see in Pokken Tournament, I actually don't know what else I want to see. I mean, you guys already know I want birds in the game. You guys already know I want Vaporeon in the game. I wouldn't mind Vaporeon being like a costume swap for Suicune. Okay, what's this now? Oh, don't tell me it's just gonna crap out right here. Because if it does, it's gonna kick me out. You have to be online to play this game. looks good. I guess people who are trying to load in right now. Yep, everybody is. It's not loaded.
Code signal.
Oh well. But, I mean, as far as other Pokemon I would like to see in Pokken Tournament, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, I mean, there's a chance to make every Pokemon here unique, but I don't think that they're going to do that. And it's actually kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to think about that actually. I mean, I still want Zangoose in the game. Zangoose is on the bench. I would like Swanna to be in the game, but only if Articuno somehow makes the roster. Then it can be
I'll give you
a
whatever
character
answers I
swap
can.
just for,
Looks very
you know, well, let me
solid,
make sure my
Guardian.
light is as high as it can be right now. 305, 308. Is 303 really as high as I can get? I thought I can get higher than that. 310. I guess not. Alright then. But I don't know, I kind of want to see some Pokemon make it into the game that will actually have like some kind of
Jesus Christ.
purpose, I guess. I mean, the Pokemon really doesn't need to have a purpose, but it'll be nice. Another Light Beyond Nemesis. This is 310 at least. If it's 290, I'm gonna break it down. Oh my god, it's 290. Break that down. We're gonna keep that. I want to keep my 290s simply because they are good for upgrade material. Oh, that's really good actually. I want that one. Well, I mean, that looks good, I guess. We're gonna throw this in storage, throw that in storage, and I think that's it. 310. I might keep that, don't know. Yeah, that's it, I guess. I mean, I don't have anything else I want to talk about is for this video here. Just want to play some Destiny and talk about some stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Subscribe if you like the video. Be sure to like it because Destiny is actually a halfway decent game. And as always, thank you guys for watching my videos, and I hope to see you all in the next one.